Hey everyone, welcome back to The Tailored Metaphor, where I use my imagination to help you understand your psychology. And today we're going to talk about a really important topic. It's one of my absolute favorites, and I use it in all of my coaching programs, all of my lessons, anytime. And this is the concept of feeling trapped. Now, when you are trying to make any kind of psychological change, or you're going to therapy, or you're working with a life coach, or any kind of personal emotional work that you are doing, the majority of times, a lot of people will feel trapped or stuck or stagnant or weighed down. That's the language that they will use to describe this really uncomfortable place that they're feeling like in their life, that their life feels like it's bearing down on them, or they're trapped or they're stuck or they're locked up or something like that. So the metaphor I want to use today is of a cage. And this is a classic metaphor. And what I want you to think about is the fact that as we grow up, we are learning about the world through social interactions, through what our family teaches us, through what society pumps at us, through what the television and advertisements and social media deliver to us. So we're collecting this massive tapestry of messages about how life should be lived. And we kind of collect and we keep a lot of them and we absorb a lot of the lessons. But at a certain point, we want to do something different. Typically that happens, side note, right around your early 20s. So maybe after high school into your college years, or maybe right after college, you start to realize like, all right, these beliefs and these ideas about life aren't really serving me. I want to do some other things. That's the point where people start to feel, oh gosh, I'm trapped. I'm trapped in these old thoughts and these old patterns. Now, when you think about a cage, my favorite way to just illustrate this, and I should have drawn it out for you, but the best way to illustrate this is that the bars of the cage, each bar is a different thing that you have accumulated in your mind about how life should be lived. What I mean by that, as an example, is one bar is your set of belief systems. Another bar is your negative emotional patterns. Could be the things you stress about. Could be the sadness, the fears. Each fear could be a different bar of the cage. It could be another bar is definitely your self-talk. If you're hard on yourself and you talk really negatively to yourself, all of those messages like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I don't think I can do this, those become bars of the cage. Then any kind of messages from family or friends or social media or people that you look up to as experts, maybe celebrities, whatever their messages are, those create the bars of the cage. Now, this is important for you to think about because this cage is something that you have constructed. You may not have known it when you were little, so I'm not blaming you for this, and nobody can actually be judged or accused of this. But you have constructed this cage, your own cage, out of your own thought processes and belief systems about your life over the course of your life until now. Now, which means that if you built the cage, you are able to build the key. You should know the inner workings of the lock to find the key. Oftentimes when you go to a therapist or you're working through your emotional work with somebody, that you figure out the key, you find the key in that work. But the point I want to drill in is that it's your responsibility to free yourself from the cage if you want to, because you are the one that put yourself in the cage. And you have to take responsibility for that. So I know this was a little heavy. Maybe some of you are feeling a little down just by me telling you and feeling like it's your fault that you made this cage. But we all do it. I definitely built a cage that I only recently, in recent years, freed myself from. But what I want you to think about after this video is, what is your cage made up of? If you are feeling only if you're feeling trapped and stagnant and weighed down, like you're living a life that you don't even enjoy or that you don't fully want, what is the ball and chain that you're stuck to? What is your cage made out of? Is it a belief system? Is it somebody else's suggestion? Is it money? Is it sadness, depression? Is it like a daily emotional habit that you feel? So come up with it for yourself. Draw out or write out your cage, because if you're able to draw attention to what cage you have built for yourself, it'll be so much easier for you to figure out where the key is and what the lock is made of to get you out of that cage.